But first, we've got breaking news. And here comes the man that always brings us said breaking news in the NBA. That's our NBA insider, Shams Charania. Give it to us. What you got?
Free agent center DeAndre Ayton has reached agreement on a 2-year deal to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers. So Lakers have found their big man, their center, after 2 days into free agency. And now they have the #1 and #3 pick from the 2018 NBA draft with DeAndre Ayton and Luka-Doncic. I'm told the Knicks, Clippers, Bucks, Pacers, Cavs, and Nuggets all had interest in Ayton before his decision to sign with the Lakers.
So after a long time of just rumors and speculation, it has become a reality. After being bought out by the Blazers, the Los Angeles Lakers have used their remaining cap flexibility to finally land a center. DeAndre Ayton is a Laker signing a 2-year deal worth about $16.6 million. This is just the perfect case scenario for both sides of the equation. The Lakers desperately needed a center. Ayton gets another shot to reprove himself on the biggest stage, and it's a cheap contract for a former #1 overall pick. Obviously, Ayton is a guy that has not lived up to his hype. It may even be safe to label him as a bust, but he still has contributed to competitive basketball on the biggest stages. He's averaged a double-double through playoff runs. He still has all the tools to be a big-time factor. This whole entire time, he has just needed to find the right situation to be in, a place where his motor will be tested, and a place where he has to be all in. And I think that's what joining the Lakers gives him, and I want to talk all about this signing and break down what it means for both sides, Ayton and also the Lakers. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 60,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so Ayton was originally due to earn about $35.5 million this upcoming season. Matching such a cap figure in a trade would have cost the Lakers virtually all their extraneous salary. However, Ayton managed to secure a buyout from the Trailblazers on Sunday, the night before free agency began, opening the door for him to sign with the Lakers at a more reasonable price and leaving them the bulk of their tradable salary to potentially use elsewhere. Prior to Ayton's surprising availability, pickings looked fairly slim for the Lakers on the center market. They had previously tried to trade for Utah Jazz big man Walker Kessler, but the two sides couldn't agree to a deal. There were other free agents that were theoretically gettable as far as salaries go, but all of them came with their flaws. Brook Lopez is 37 years old and declining, and even at his peak, he was never the lob threat that Luka-Doncic prefers to play with. Clint Capella is, but that's a role that relies on athleticism, and he's 31 and seemingly on the way down as well. Luke Cornett impressed in a small role in Boston, but he has never proven that he's capable of starting and playing those kind of minutes. All three of them signed elsewhere anyways though earlier this week, but none of them really ever had the capability to fill the hole that AD left when he was traded away to the Dallas Mavericks. But Ayton has a chance to do so, at least in part. Remember, he was once the #1 overall pick in the 2018 NBA draft, ironically over Luka-Doncic, who went #3. The Lakers, more than perhaps any other team in the NBA, values draft pedigree and veteran evaluation. They love bringing in formerly high draft picks who haven't worked out for some reason or another. That strategy has worked wonders with guys like Rui Hachimura, less so with Cam Reddish and Jackson Hayes, but these are lottery tickets. The idea is to bring in talent that shouldn't be available at the price the Lakers are getting it at, and hoping that their culture and existing star power can help make the most of it. And from everything we've heard, Ayton wanted to be on a winning team. That's part of why he took the buyout in the first place. He's tasted success before. Remember, he went to the finals in 2021 with Phoenix, and in those playoffs, he was a huge piece. He guarded Jokic one-on-one and held his own for the most part in that series. He was finishing around the rim, setting screens for Chris Paul and Booker, grabbing boards when he could, and doing all the little things you need from your 5. It feels like people forgot how valuable he was in that run. The Suns actually lost most of their minutes when Ayton was off the floor against Milwaukee, and that should tell you something. That is definitely something to consider. But after that finals trip, everything started to unravel. He didn't get the max from Phoenix. Indiana came in with the offer sheet, and that whole situation left a sour taste. His energy dipped, especially on defense. He wasn't playing with the same fire that he used to play with, and when he got to Portland, it was more of the same. It was even worse. The talent was still there, but the effort, the drive, the hunger, all of it fell off. And then he made that comment about having nothing left to prove and how he was a max player regardless. And to be honest, that's when a lot of people wrote him off, and it was a big turnoff when he said that, just as a basketball fan. But now, he's not a max player anymore. He took the buyout, he signed for a mid-level deal, and the fact that he's okay with that tells me something has shifted. They're betting that being in this environment, being on a team that's trying to win now, being around Luka and Austin Reeves, having something to prove, it's going to light a fire under them, and if it does, this contract could look like a steal. And let's not forget, DeAndre Ayton's agent is Bill Duffy, same as Luka. That connection likely gave the Lakers some real insight into where Ayton's head is at. They didn't make this move blind, they know what they're getting into, and they clearly believe the upside is worth the gamble. Plus, from a timeline perspective, this makes sense. Luka is 26, Reeves is 27, Ayton is 26. You've got 3 guys who, if this clicks, could form the core of a new-look Lakers team for the next 3 to 4 years. Now, I also want to point out how this deal gives the Lakers flexibility. Think about how aggressive they were trying to be at the deadline. They were reportedly willing to give up Dalton Connect, a first rounder, and a pick swap for Mark Williams. That's a lot for sure, but now they get Ayton for nothing but cap space, and that means they still have Connect, they still have those picks, they still have the ammo to go after a wing or another piece later this season if they feel like they need to, so that's a huge win by itself. And then speaking of wings, that's still one major hole on this team now. Ayton helps fix the center issue, at least for now. He's kind of like a bandage. I think he's going to do just fine, but they need more size and versatility on the perimeter, especially after losing DFS. That could be where those extra assets come into play, but at least now they're not scrambling for a big. They address the most glaring weakness without blowing up the roster. And even if Ayton doesn't fully pan out, no harm done. It's a short-term deal. You're not locked in long-term, obviously. You didn't give up any assets. So worst case scenario, you move on after a year and pivot. But if it does work, if Ayton gives you 14 and 10 and he protects the rim and buys into the system, that's a legit game changer because there wasn't another big on the market with that kind of ceiling. Not one. So for a team like the Lakers who had limited options to begin with and needed to make something happen without blowing up their future, this was probably their best shot. And man, I really do think there's a path where this works because Ayton doesn't need to be a 20 and 12 guy on this team for the Lakers to be successful and for them to work. He just needs to run the floor, play with energy, clean up the glass, be active in the paint, and give Luka a lob threat. That's pretty much it. If he commits to that role, he's going to absolutely thrive. And the Lakers are going to be a very tough team to beat, especially in the playoff series. But more than anything, this is really just about mentality. This is about Ayton finally realizing that it's not about being the guy. It's about being the right kind of guy for the team. If that light bulb goes off, and this is the moment where things finally click for him, then look out because we already know the talent is there. He's just needed the right environment to bring it out. So to wrap this up, I love this swing by the Lakers. It's bold, it's calculated, and it gives them a real shot to fill a critical hole without tying their hands. Ayton has everything to prove, the Lakers have everything to gain. Whether this ends up being a quick pit stop or the beginning of something bigger, only time will tell. But at the very least, they gave themselves a chance to find out, and that's more than you can say for most teams this late in free agency. Let me know what you guys think about this move in the comments below though. Do you think this signing is going to work out? Do you think Ayton is going to reprove himself and kind of get his career back on the right track? I'm very curious to hear your opinions. I'm going to try to read and respond to every comment, or at least as many as I can. And if you made it to this point in the video and enjoyed, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And until next time, I will see you all later.